Hello guys, here is Abdullah Zaghloula, senior software developer, and today's discussion about the most common PHP problem. Of course, it is DTO. So when you are dealing with Laravel or any other framework, why we need a DTO? DTO is a data transfer object. So you need to unify one shape of data to be sent, created, received, and respond with and transformed according to the type of interface that will receive. Usually you have three main interfaces. CLI1 to run your own commands, cron jobs and queues. API to deal with APIs like mobile site or any external provider. The third one is session-based web. So your own DTO should encapsulate three main steps. The first step is validation. The second step is creation for own DTO. The third step is transformation to respond according to the shape of data needed for the specific interface. So you need a class-based object to encapsulate all of this logic. The problem here with PHP, if you are a PHP developer, you are familiar with this code. This is called associative array, and this one called indexed numeric array. But actually, both is not arrays. This is called dynamic array or a map, because you have a key and value here. And you have a key here is 0 and its own value is Abdullah. So this is ordered map. So the actual array that we know across other languages like Java and the TypeScript can be accessed using this package called SPL to implement any data structure. It is called SPL fixed array. So let's go for the tries that are done with Laravel to implement an object-based DTO. The first one, FormRequest and Validator, they are using to validate your own data. They are missing relying on object. They are missing something like transforming data. For example, let's go for the FormRequest here. And let's say we have a route called update user. So this method update. And if we have this update request, you still rely at this dynamic arrays, and it doesn't support autocomplete. You will add the value by yourself here at PHP doc, and you still have too confusing syntax to merge your own inputs. In addition to this, let's say we need to validate a data which comes from the headers or the route, and you shouldn't validate it here. You should have rules here because you are not trying to duplicate yourself. So you will merge a route parameter or a header parameter here, which is not a good approach. Let's go for the validator. This package called by Andersau, called the Laravel Validator, encapsulates the validation because the form request cannot be used for CLI. I know you can use it with Laravel, but it is a confusing one because your own CLI doesn't receive a request. So the validator here try to group your own validation for the entity you need. So this is should called user validator and have a rule for create, rule for update, but still relying at dynamic arrays. The three steps here, the three types here, like presenter, transformer, and resource, just dealing with the transformation step. So the presenter called the needed transformer, then the transformer or the resource will transform the shape of the responded data. For example, here, this presenter called by your own repository, so you can change it. Then the transformer have a method called transform, something like to array which found this here at the resource, but they shouldn't be a DTO. So another try is just create a class-based one by your own self, like this one, for example. But you still need a request here or validator to be injected using dependency injection. So once it called here, it create the array and validate it. And you still create your own DTO from it. And this thing is more complicated. You still need a resource. So you add an extra step without any benefit. Let's go for the most successful approach. I have found a package here by Spatty called Laravel Data. So they have a method to create from. So from here can receive array, can receive a model, can receive a collection, and it is object based and it have its own attributes. For example, here, let's track this in the point. We are trying to update our user ID with the ID payload. So you can use it here by dependency injection. So this will call create and validate automatically. And this is the shape of your own DTO. Here we go. So I need to receive ID, for example, name and email and password. So once I receive it, I may create a computed probability like info to take any of those, like this name and this email. May I create two mobile apps? This will respond it after validation. I can have a validator here. I can have two array method to respond as a resource. So all in one solution at one DTO. So have a lot of methods like rules and messages, how to translate your own attributes, how to stop on first failure, redirect, and authorize. But I'm not a big fan of using authorize at FormRequest or at this DTO because authorization should be encapsulated at your own middleware. Okay, in addition to this, they have a lot of attributes. For example, I may take the user ID from the route directly. I can map it to ID or user ID. They have map input name, so I can send a full name at my request, then change it to name, and it's very easy. And I can receive it from model also, and change it to name very easy way. So let's track this in the point. We receive our DTO here, then the service will receive it at update method, yeah. And here we go, it calls the repository, find our user, and the autocomplete is working like a charm. As you can see here, it knows the type, what he did. Then we can respond with a collection of data. We can create our DTO from this model automatically. So we can send, respond, transform our data with a very flexible way, all-in-one solution. So here is our endpoint, the user update here. I want to send full name here. As you can see, respond with user info, which is the computed key word, and now email and the password. Here is the validation. Here is two array methods that I implement. All what you need is here. In addition to this, let's say I want to send the full, the validation still work. It will say, yeah, the full name field is required. And the mapping, so he take a full name, convert it to name, and this is a very good approach to use. In addition to that, they have a trait here called with data. You can implement it at your own model, and all what you do is just saying song first or fail, get data. So it will transform your own model into a DTO automatically. So I'm a big fan of using this package. Please check the links and subscribe for more and more. And here we go. Bye bye. Have a nice day.